I gotta say,
41 minutes in, I don't know if anybody
all
cares.
the talk,
dunes,
all the talk,
dying
the
and
last few
quiff
weeks.
him, Crawler's Nest, XP down, getting ganked by people training Marlboros through the zone.
That's the good juice right there. Like that is.
Dude, you're making it sound like a bad thing or something, dude.
It's terrible.
I gotta say, Jez brought me down. I was like tempted to try Final Fantasy 11, because Ginger's been building it up, and I've been hearing all this hype, and Jez just killed it. I'm staying away now.
But it's changed dramatically since its launch. There were there was some frustrations that he said that I for sure ran into, where there was times where I was like, yeah, I think I'm finally done with this game. Went and played WoW for like a minute, and then I ended up always coming back home. And that's where like my critiques of 14 have always been rooted in like Final Fantasy 11 solved this problem. But how it is now, it's much, much easier. In fact, I just died and I went and looked at how much experience I lost when dying. And I was like, oh, it was just like 100 experience. In the day, like you would like that was like 10%. A whole half a level, like oh my gosh. And then you're sitting here just struggling, and like the story I always bring up was like when I was brand new, I was ballsy in this regards. I finally hit level 30 on my first job. I was like, I'm gonna go get some new gear. I didn't have the money to afford the full set, so I sold everything I had. Then I was able to afford the full set. Went outside, died, leveled down, everything was unequipable. Now I'm naked, dude, level 29. Son of a gun.
See, everything you say about Final Fantasy 11 just brings back these awful PTSD memories. Did they ever solve gil inflation in that game? I remember I wanted to be a Dark Knight, man. And it was like the group, I'd go LFG for a group, and they were like, do you have sniper rings? Because their accuracy is really bad. And I was like, yeah, I got one sniper ring. And it's like, oh, is it a +1 sniper ring? I'm like, nah. I'm like, sorry, you're not joining. I'm like, well, great. This game's fantastic.
But as for the WoW stuff and like console, I think that they definitely should bring WoW to console now, especially since they have the one button rotation. So like literally console players can just smash one button and they won't ruin your dungeon run. So
perfect.
So that's good.
Be able to participate then. My caveman brain can handle it.
Not a dig at you console players. I'm just saying, if you haven't played a 20-year-old game and then you come into a 20-year-old game, everyone's expecting you to have also 20 years of experience or whatever. So like, that easy button's good. I tried it out while you guys were talking about Nintendo in the beginning of the podcast.
I haven't tried that yet.
I mean, I play a rogue, so it's like not that complicated. I don't know how it would be with like a healer or something, but like literally it's just a button.
I'm demonology. I've got like 40 keybinds. God. It's like demonology is like playing a musical instrument.
Yeah. Well, you could show my keybinds on the podcast. How do we do that? Let me see.
You gotta share your screen or something like that. Yeah.
Here, yeah. Give me a second.
I'm generally curious about this, especially the one button accessibility thing. I know they added something like that in Destiny, where it was like you can hold down the trigger, so like, and then it ends up being that's the highest DPS because it's always perfect. You're never missing any kind of cadence. And I was like, all right, well, I wonder if this will end up, competing that way.
There is someone in your Twitch chat, Aza Zoltanio says, I'm exclusively playing Final Fantasy 11 now. Final Fantasy 14 and WoW don't do it for me anymore. And I will say, like, there is something about Final Fantasy 11 which I do miss, and that is like the sense of accomplishment, because WoW is so easy these days, Like this one button rotation is like a great example, and it's like, yeah, this is great for accessibility maybe and things like that, but it's like, if I don't have to think in order to play, I'm kind of thinking like, how engaging is this going to be for new players? And one of the things I've always criticized WoW for is the terrible onboarding experience for new players, because they make levels 1 to like 60 or 70 just so brain dead. Like, you basically can't die. And that was not the experience with vanilla WoW. And it definitely wasn't the experience with vanilla Final Fantasy 11. Like, running through like Windurst, getting chased by a Mandragora, hitting me for 1 damage, and then you die to poison, which you can't clear because you need an item which costs 1 million gil or something like that. But it's like that sense of accomplishment you used to get from MMOs. I don't really get them anymore. Like, I raid heroic in WoW. Like, I don't really do mythic, but because like, you have to basically dedicate your life to the game to do mythic raiding. But heroic raiding, like, if it wasn't for my guild, I'm in a really, really great guild with really great people, like a good clan. I don't think I'd even play WoW anymore because it's just become it's not hard anymore. It's not a challenge, and it's not as rewarding as it used to be. You know.
I think that's just true about the MMO genre altogether. Is that there has been, and that's where like with Azure, I went back to playing 11, and then there's just this sense of joy. There's a level of struggle. There's this, I don't know, maybe a lot of struggle, a lot of nostalgia, and I'm like, so I'm always trying to weigh like, is this just more nostalgic, the reason why I'm having fun, or is this actually like fun because of the high, you have higher highs and lower lows, right? Like if everything is just drip fed to you, that's one of the reasons why I've really transitioned more into Souls like RPGs as of late. In fact, No Rest for the Wicked is probably one of the big reasons why we were able to get you on the podcast this week, because last week that's what was the big story, where they were coming out and looking at the numbers and saying, hey, we're a small studio. Yeah, we made Ori, but we're a small studio. We got to look at, what platform do we hit first? PS5 being the key aspect. So the question I'd like to get like Jez's thoughts, because we talked about this a little bit last week on the podcast. Then I'd also like to pivot that into PlayStation third-party discussion. So Jez, like, that's obviously before you went on vacation. Have you how do you feel about that? Because obviously my thought immediately goes to Xbox is a PC now. Like it's already there. Like there's nothing, I can play No Rest for the Wicked right now on my Xbox through GeForce Now. And I think Xbox is just going to make that easier when they add Steam. Do you really even need a direct port?
Well, I think one of the things that you're going to see next gen, and this is only specific to next gen, I don't think it'll be on the Xbox Series S and X, but Microsoft offers PC devs a much better cut. I don't know how they're going to do that with the next Xbox, right? But you'd have to think, if it is a PC, are they going to give them the 88% cut? Because right now it's a 70% cut, right?
Mm-hmm.
So their PC cut is much better than Steam. So I kind of feel like if this is the app store that you get when you load up the Xbox, maybe publishers and devs will be like, well, let's get the better cut, And that kind of has a halo effect, if like for Xbox on PC as well, on traditional PC, right? Because like if devs are supporting the Xbox console version store, it pressures Steam to lower their cut, right? So I think like you are going to still see a lot of publishers support Xbox because they don't want to give Steam all of the chips, which is why I also think you're going to see PlayStation support Xbox, because next gen, if Steam is on the next Xbox, right? And you turn on the Xbox and it loads up the Xbox store first, and the PlayStation games are on Steam, and Sony's paying Steam 30%, wouldn't they rather pay Xbox 12%?